Chapter 21. High up on the boom platform, Edison stamps his feet impatiently. Come on, you mechanical meatheads! Get your tin butts over there! I want to see some antimatter fireworks! Screams Mr. Chimp, hopping and flapping his arms and kind of losing it, going full chimp for a few wild seconds. Clink rolls. Clank clomps reluctantly toward their own annihilation. I do not want to be antimatter fireworks, whines Clank. I told you that humans were unstable thinkers, says Clink. What a waste of perfect intelligence. Me. The antimatter beam crackles exactly 1 meter away from the trapped Watson and Frank. Red lights flash. The siren whoops. As soon as Clink and Clank are close enough to hear him, Frank yells over the deafening siren, Clank! What? You like to hug, yes? Yes. And now you can't hear anything that human on the boom loader says, can you? No. The antimatter boom now smokes the wall 1/2 meter away. Watson covers his eyes. Good. So go give that big pink squirt gun the biggest, strongest hug you possibly can. That is a human order. Clank thinks for one long, precious second. Must not let a human be injured. Must obey orders by humans. Frank Einstein orders to hug pink gun. Frank Einstein is human. Hugging gun will not harm a human. T. Edison can't hear what is happening down below. But he sees the robot stop, and he knows Einstein is somehow messing with his plans. Clank's whole metal head lights up with the answer, hug! He charges the Edison antimatter squirt gun at full, floor-pounding, clank-stopping speed. Edison yells at Clank, or at least that's all Clank hears between the whoops of the siren. Clank enthusiastically follows Frank's orders, smashing into the great pink pistol with a whanging full metal body slamming. He wraps his big aluminum flex arms around the pistol grip, powers his arm motors to max, punches heavy metal too, and squeezes the Edison antimatter squirt gun with every bit of his mechanical strength. Mr. Chimp sees where this is heading. He lets go of the boom controls and signs, peace out. Mr. Chimp jumps and grips the top rail with his toes, drops down, and swings his way to safety, hand over foot over hand. The antimatter beam hits the first titanium bar and vaporizes it. Frank and Watson back as far away from the bars as they can. Frank recalculates. Okay, that wasn't part of the plan. Stop! Yells Edison at everyone, at everything. But there is no stopping this antimatter matter. Clank hugs, squeezes, spins. He twists the Edison antimatter squirt gun off its mount, redirecting its deadly beam in a dangerous arc that slices through the tops of the titanium bars, a stray tuft of hair on Watson's head, the middle of the boom with Edison still on it, and the very heart of the massive particle collider. Dancing, wang, 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 to his heavy metal 2-beat. Clang, hug, twirl, falls, pulling the Edison antimatter squirt gun down on top of himself. Clank, giving one more max hug, and the cracking, smoking, sparking pistol erupts in a blinding white light explosion, annihilating every bit of itself, the antimatter motor, and the robot Clank. What, you guys? Clank's been annihilated too? Let's look at that picture on page 173. There's a huge blam. There's a huge blam. Is Clank part of the blam? Chapter 22. Frank and Watson sit at the laboratory workbench, facing Frank's laptop screen. We're so sorry to hear you didn't win the science prize, sweetie. Frank waves a hand. Don't worry about that, Mom. The science is more fun than any prize. And just this morning, I sold a magnetic levitation idea to a cool skateboard company and paid off Grandpa's deed so we can keep the store. You sold a magnet? Says Mary Einstein. For Grandpa's steed? Frank laughs. I'll explain it all when you get home. Grandpa Al pops his head in Frank's laboratory door. He calls, Hi, Mary. Hi, Bob. Everything's copacetic. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got bigger fish to fry. Huh? Says Watson. What does he mean by that? I'm making us dinner. Bye, Mary. Oh, wait. No, sorry. I don't know who that was. That was Grandpa. I'm making us dinner. Bye, Mary. Bye, son. Grandpa Al disappears into the kitchen. Bob Einstein appears next to Mary. We're back in the country, sport, so I'll be able to help you with your next invention. Oh, gosh, Dad. That is, great. Clink wheels up to the workbench. Are you being sarcastic? Wow, says Bob. Did your shop vac just say something? Clink beeps. More to explain when you guys get home. See you soon. Bye. Frank closes his laptop. He stacks his papers. Watson wipes down a shelf. He organizes some tools. Clink sits silently, his LED lights pulsing ever so slightly. Man, Edison sure was mad, says Watson. Agrees Frank, looking through his science encyclopedia. He's gonna be your enemy for life. Agrees Frank, drawing a doodle. And that ape is not gonna be your best friend either. Yeah. It is suddenly very quiet in Frank Einstein's lab. Watson picks up a copy of Clank's favorite Captain Underpants book. He frowns. Einstein, sometimes I think you are a robot. Don't you miss Clank? He was a good guy. Clink powers up. A robot cannot be good or bad. Clank was a robot. Clink blinks twice. Once, then twice. But I would like to try to understand his jokes again. Frank looks up from his science book. So, our next subject is energy. Here's what I'm thinking. Watson stares at Frank. Are you kidding? Clank blew himself up for us, and all you can think about is... There's a knock on the door leading out to the backyard. Oh, wait, just a second. Frank gets up from the workbench. A voice on the other side of the door says, Knock, knock! Who's there? asks Frank. Little old lady. Little old lady who? Frank swings open the door, Clank clumps in, and booms, I do not know. You could yodel. Clank yells Watson. Ha, 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 beeps Clink. Clank plods over to the workbench and wraps his aluminum flex arms around Watson, Clink, and a smiling Frank. Hugs! Give Clank hugs! Clank give hugs! Clank hugs give! Hugs Clank give! Before anyone can ask any questions, Frank answers, reassembled artificial intelligence, with just a little help from me. Though we still couldn't find much memory or brain power. Clank holds up his new pipe wrench hand. But we did find this. Clank is now bigger and better than ever. Everyone laughs, even Clink, kind of. Frank looks over this strange group. He says, results, 3 good friends. Grandpa Al's place is safe, for now. May have a lifelong enemy in T. Edison. Frank looks up at the wall of science. Conclusion. Matter and antimatter, amazing. Frank pauses for a second. Now, about that energy idea. I have an invention that just might be even more amazing. Who's with me? Watson smiles. Count me in. Me too, beeps Clink. Me 3! Boom chicka boom boom, Clank. All in, says Frank Einstein. So our story's over. It all worked out. What? It worked out, you guys. They saved Grandpa Al's store and that really bad kid. What was his name? T. Edison. He's out of the picture. The monkey disappeared. Mom and Dad still have no clue what their son can do, but we know he is a genius. He loves science, and I like this book. I'm going to tell you, when I started this book and I looked at the cover, I said, ugh, this looks like too many words, not enough pictures. It's too hard. It's not going to be any good. But then we started reading it, and it actually was. It was really a fun book. Did you guys like this book? Good. I liked reading it. I like doing the voices. Sometimes I messed up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. We're all learning. Miss Mo is still practicing her voices too. That Grandpa Al voice was a little tough for me though, because it would make me scratchy in the throat. But did anyone learn any sign language? while you were... Did you see the pictures? What page was that on? There's a page in the back of the book where Mr. Chimp has his fingers. And yeah, here it is. I found it. Mr. Chimp's alphabet, it doesn't have a page number, but you can see Mr. Chimp's alphabet, and it has all the letters A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. Did anyone notice that if you make an R, it looks like an X, but if you sign an X, it looks like an R? I always thought that was interesting. It's not a bad idea to learn sign language. You don't have to know sign language, but if at least you know the letters, and you can spell whatever you want to say. And for those of you who don't know what the sign for Z is, down below, it just has your finger up, and you write like as if you're writing the letter Z. You go up, down, across. Yep. So anyway, that was Frank Einstein and the Antimatter Motor. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really did enjoy this book. And maybe one day Miss Mo will do another one. Would you like that? Okay. Bye.